I elected to take no bonuses or no options. So I wanted to be perfectly aligned with all my shareholders so that I'm going to make money the same way they do, and that is through a higher share price. I'd like to grow the company, but since I own almost 80 million shares, I don't want to just grow the company in market cap without seeing an appreciable difference in share price.
Yeah.
So it's all about getting a higher share price. And I think too many people in the industry have gone for growing companies. They take out reasonably large salaries, but they're forgetting about the share owner.
Hello everyone, this is Florian Munsch from Germany. I'm sitting here with Rob McEwen of McEwen Mining. I'm here at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium in Vancouver 2019. So Rob, I'm very glad to have met you here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Florian.
So you were the founder and former chief executive officer of Goldcorp, and
yes.
now over the last years, you've built up another company, McEwen Mining, your own company, which you own 22% of. So would you be so kind giving the audience a brief overview about what the company is doing?
Certainly. McEwen Mining is, first of all, listed on the New York and Toronto Stock Exchange. 90% of the trade occurs on New York. Mm-hmm. We have operations in North and South America, 4 operations, one in Canada, a gold mine in Nevada that we just started up, a gold-silver mine in Mexico, and a gold-silver mine in Argentina, and we also have a very large copper project. Our market cap is about
880? Right now, I just looked it up.
All right, you got it.
The interview.
As you said, I own 22% of the company. Mm-hmm. My cost base on my investment is $164 million. I take $1 a year. When I was building Goldcorp, I was the largest individual shareholder of Goldcorp, and I thought I wanted to take that a step further. So in this company, $1 a year, and that was I got a raise 3 years ago. I didn't get any salary before that.
Yeah, well, $1 is better than no dollar.
That's right. And I elected to take no bonuses or no options. So I wanted to be perfectly aligned with all my shareholders so that I'm going to make money the same way they do, and that is through a higher share price. I'd like to grow the company, but since I own almost 80 million shares, I don't want to just grow the company in market cap without seeing an appreciable difference in share price.
Yeah.
So it's all about getting a higher share price. And I think too many people in the industry have gone for growing companies. They take out reasonably large salaries, but they're forgetting about the share owner.
And having that alignment to the company, you really have an incentive to do the best thing for the other shareholders
yes,
as well.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, so tell me, maybe you started telling the audience about there are different projects, gold, silver, you have copper, porphyry, and
yes.
so on. You have exposure to different countries like Mexico, Argentina, Nevada, and Canada.
Yes.
Maybe we could start at the Canadian project. So
all right, we'll start at the top of North America and come down. It's called the Black Fox Project. Mm-hmm. We bought it in October of 2017. The previous owners had they bought it in 2014, had issued $300 million worth of stock to buy it. They assumed $140 million in liabilities when they bought it. They put $120 million into it, so they're into it for $560 million, and we bought it for $35 million. What we bought was a turnaround situation, but it had 1.25 million ounces of gold in resources. It had a mine producing 50,000 ounces of gold a year, but it had a short life, so you need more exploration. It came with $180 million of tax loss carry forwards, which basically means any profits we earn from this property, we can avoid taxes to the tune of $180 million.
And that alone extends what you paid for it, right?
Oh, much more so.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculously cheap. So.
And it came with a large land package.
Okay.
I'm a big believer in exploration, and that's how I built Goldcorp. And I think this mine looked very much like the keystone property of Goldcorp, the Red Lake mine. Short life, high cost, but lots of indications of higher grade ore. And it's a large property package in a very prolific belt. So last year, $19 million went into the ground in exploration. This year, $17 million at this particular operation. We're now seeing that there are some satellite deposits that we feel we can put into production, and there's a chance in the next couple of years that this could come up to over 100,000 ounces at a much lower cost. We're drilling on surface, and we think there's also potential to go much deeper.
And so it's a greenstone.
Greenstone, yes. Okay. Then if we go out of Canada into the state of Nevada in the United States, this is a very prolific area as well for gold. Some of the largest gold mines in the world are located there. We have a property that's 25 miles south on the same geological structure as Barrick's largest gold mine, Cortez Hills, and their two most recent discoveries, and they're large, they're both over 10 million ounces, Gold Rush and 4 Mile. So we're in the same setting, and we think that there's an opportunity, one, to get into the zones that hold their very rich ore bodies. They're deeper, and we've begun drilling there. But we also think there's a lot of opportunity on surface for shallow.
Yeah.
So we built a mine, and it reached commercial production the end of May. It was 2 months behind schedule, our schedule, but it's operating now.
So you're in production, and you also have much more exploration potential.
That's correct.
This deposit.
And we've been expanding our land package down there as well.
Yeah. And you told me before the interview a special thing about Carlin-style deposits in a statistical way. Could you elaborate on this?
I'd be happy to. One of Barrick's senior geologists back in 2013 was curious about how deposits might grow in size, what might be the probability. So he looked at, around the world, he looked at 468 different gold deposits of greater than 3 million ounces, and he said, how many of those grew to over 10 million ounces? And he looked at all these different deposit types, and in Nevada it's a Carlin style. And of the 468, about 20 of them, a little over 20, were Carlin-style deposits, and 45% of those grew to over 10 million ounces.
This means you almost have 50%, like 45%.
It's almost
chance
a coin toss.
If you have a 3 million ounce deposit, that it will grow to 10 million.
Right.
Statistically.
So that's really one of the prizes we're looking for.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The endowment, or the gold that's been defined and produced from the property, our property, is 1.7. So our exploration, if we can get another 1.3,
go reach
1.4, then we have a coin toss coming.
Sure.
So that's exciting. I'll leave Nevada and go to Mexico. We had a property down there. It was brownfields, meaning it had previously been in production. We put about $18 million in it. It produced up to 60,000 ounces of gold. Right now it's at the end of its life, but during the time we were mining there, we were exploring all around, and we found a silver deposit 5 kilometers away, which was the Mexican government allowed us to permit in 2015, and we said, well, the silver price isn't very good and our share price isn't very good, so we won't put it into production. We modified it, the design, and it became quite elegant because we were going to build a separate standalone facility and a tailings facility for the waste product coming out of a mine above ground, and we went, wait a minute, we've just dug a large hole. Could we take the tailings we were going to build above ground and fill this pit with tailings? And that's what the government's now looking to approve. But it's very elegant in the way that it uses less capital, it uses less water, and the restoration of the surrounding area is much faster and more
Happens
attractive.
by the process.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're expecting a permit for that this quarter, and then that would be a 10-year life producing there, and low capital. Then we go down to Argentina. We have a joint venture that's been producing gold and silver since 2007. One of our directors discovered this deposit.
Is it the deposit that makes most of your cash flow right now?
It would represent 50%.
50%.
Well, not of our cash flow, but 50% of our production.
Okay.
It's a rich silver gold mine. It's 580 grams silver, 8 grams gold. It has about a 5-year life, but a large land package surrounding one of Newmont Goldcorp's larger mines in the world. And then we go from there to the border with Chile in the state of San Juan, which is northern Argentina, where we have a 30 million ounce copper deposit that also has 5.5 million ounces gold and 190 million ounces silver.
It's a porphyry.
It's a porphyry.
I remember.
I know. That's really good.
Took some notes.
So, and it's got a very robust economic profile. It's a big cost project, 2.4 billion, but at $3 copper, which is a little above where copper is today. It was modeled to pay back in less than 4 years and run for 36. Produce 415 million pounds of copper at a cost of $1.14 a pound, which if the mine were in production today, that would be in the lowest quartile of the cost curve for the copper industry. So we're looking to see if we can joint venture this with a major with a big balance sheet and lots of experienced mines, building that size, and we're looking at getting an upfront payment and then them carrying the mine through feasibility study and constructing it, and then us retaining 20-25% of it. We've had a couple of discussions, but there were too many conditions put on by the other party. But
Sure.
We're in a rising metal market. Metal markets generally tend to improve near the end of general broad market cycles.
At least the base metals.
Base and precious.
Also, okay.
Yeah. So our balance sheet, we have sufficient liquidity to carry out our projects. We have about $50 million worth of debt. As I said, my cost base is $164 million. $1 a year in salary, and no bonus, no
Just
options.
the shares.
So, large exploration program. That's what built Goldcorp. That's what's building this company. Lots of trading liquidity. In terms of pros, diversified geographically, diversified by metal, good trading liquidity, great places to be exploring in. We have a very high beta, so if you have viewers that are looking for an investment in gold and they're not too adverse to risk, they could look at this as an accelerated way of
it has
getting
a leverage
exposure.
to gold price.
Lots of leverage to gold. But I have to mention, prices don't move in straight lines,
Sure.
and in the first 2 quarters of this year, we've been in the doghouse, or we have not been favored in the market. We had some operating problems at our Black Fox mine, and we were 2 months later bringing Gold Bar on than I thought we would, and so we had to rush around and raise some money to deal with a covenant on our debt. Those are all behind us. We have good liquidity now. The operating problems are been resolved, and
those happen. Those happen all the time if you put big projects into production.
Yes.
And I think for viewers who would like to get involved in McEwen Mining, a share price drop is not a bad thing to get involved. So you have a long-term approach. You have high commitment and alignment to the other shareholders, and yeah, I think this is exactly what natural resources investors like us should be looking at.
And the profits from this operation, my profits, are going into medical and educational research.
It's very nice for me to be involved in this industry, and to meet people like you. So really appreciate it, Rob.
Thank you, Florian.
And good to meet you here. Hope we will stay in touch. And
yes, I look forward
all
to
the best luck.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.